Okay, we are live. Welcome to Black Belt Zen on YouTube. Our second video. I don't know why I say our. I mean, it's just me. I'm running this whole thing. There's nobody else involved in this mess. Who else would want to be part of this? All right, so it's our second video. If you haven't seen our first one, which was recorded yesterday, when this is over, go watch that, please, and get a little bit of information about this channel and what we're going to be doing here. Today is Thursday, March the 11th, 2021. We've got I think we got one person watching, which is pretty cool. We had nobody watch the live stream yesterday because nobody knew what was going on. I didn't make any announcements on anything. So we do have, it looks like one person watching right now, so thank you to them. So today is 311, which excuse me, which always reminds me of that old band every day on this year. Or every year on this day, or whatever the hell it is. All right, let's jump into it. One of the big stories in the UFC has been over the last 6 or 7 months, Colby Covington and his ongoing feud with LeBron James, which Covington started, and really it's been kind of a one-way feud for the most part. Though LeBron has said a couple of things. I'm not a huge fan of Covington. He's a good fighter, and I like some stuff about him. He's got great endurance. His endurance is probably among the greatest of anybody who's ever been in the UFC. But from a personality standpoint, it's a high obnoxiousness, and there's a lot of off-putting stuff with that. I thought it was kind of cool when he talked to President Trump in the post interview back in, what was it, August or September, after his last fight, whatever it was. You get to see that live. And if the president of the United States called me, no matter who the president was, I'd certainly take the call and be very respectful. Though the butt kissing was a bit much and kind of cringeworthy. So I'm certainly not a fan of everything Colby does, but I love it when he calls out NBA star LeBron James, because somebody has to. And I know that ESPN and a lot of people in the media won't, and most people in the media won't. I think about Outkick is probably, I think, really the only one I've really heard do it. And none of the other athletes do it. So it's nice to see, because LeBron James to me is a phony. He's an opportunist pretending to be an activist, and he sits there and preaches to everybody about what they should think and how they should talk and who to vote for. He disrespects the American flag, if you want to look at it that way. And then a couple weeks ago, he says that he will never shut up about stuff that he thinks is wrong, whether it's in the United States or around the world, because his platform is too big and too powerful, and that, he speaks from an educated viewpoint. So he's the wrong person to go at because he does his homework. This is what he said. Yet he's been called out repeatedly and publicly shamed for staying quiet on China. There's all kinds of human rights violations in China, concentration camps. The Chinese government came out a few weeks ago and said that being gay is a mental illness. Yet LeBron James is completely silent. In fact, he was critical of Daryl Morey, tweeting out stuff like "Free Hong Kong" back in 2019, or I think it was, saying, well, some people could be hurt by that financially, and everybody has the freedom of speech in the United States, but there are consequences to that. So he was upset by Laura Ingraham and these others on Fox News and stuff telling him to shut up and dribble. But then he told other people to shut up when it came to China. Why? Because he wants to sell the NBA in China. He wants to sell his high-priced Nike sneakers in China. He wants to sell Space Jam, or whatever that movie he was in China. And he knows that if he says something that upsets the Chinese government, they can pull that and they can hurt him financially. He's also got a huge contract with Nike, which does a lot of, quite frankly, slave labor in a lot of Asian countries, including, I believe, China. So he will shut up and dribble on those things. And that's why I say he's not an activist. He's an opportunist because he's just pretending to care about stuff, but he only cares about as long as it helps him financially. So that's why I say he's a fraud. I'm sure there's good things about LeBron. Thank you to whoever just joined us on the broadcast. So I'm sure there's good things about LeBron. There's good in just about everybody. And usually I try to find the good in people. It's kind of a Zen way of life, trying not to be too judgmental. But when someone is just constantly being hateful and, insulting anyone who doesn't see the world their way, at some point, they deserve to at least be called out on their inconsistencies. And Colby Covington is willing to do that. And the reason I'm bringing this up today is because there was a Miami Heat player who got suspended. It was announced this morning, got suspended by the NBA for 1 week, and I think was fined $50,000. Not a big penalty, but at least it was something for saying some racial slurs against those of the Jewish faith recently. And LeBron James has been completely silent on. He may say something, to be fair to him. It's possible he may say something, but he should have said it before the suspension because it's been a couple of days now. And if he speaks from an educated viewpoint, like he says he does, and does his homework, he knows this. I mean, I don't even follow the NBA, and I'm aware of this story. And he's the face of the league. So there you go. It's just another example of him being quiet. Yet I remember when Donald Sterling made some racially insensitive comments or racist comments, however you want to say it, back in 2014, LeBron said, we got to get this guy out of the league. And I believe he threatened to not play if Sterling was allowed to be part of the NBA, the former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. So when Colby Covington, the UFC fighter, calls him out, I'm happy about it. So I'm a fan of Colby just based on that. I do kind of wish he would get the politics out of sports. I wish everybody would pretty much get the politics out of sports because I don't really care what your political beliefs are. If you're an athlete, it's fine. You can have whatever you want. I got no problem with you voting however you see fit, but just don't flaunt it in front of me because I turn on sports to get away from all that stuff. And I'm sure most of the viewers do. And I think the ratings reflect that. The NBA, which has gone completely political, completely woke ever since, Donald Trump got elected, and especially since, the last year or so, the ratings tanked. I mean, NBA finals were the lowest ratings they've ever had in 2020. Playoff ratings, some of the lowest that they've had in a long time. And I think some of the lowest they've had in 40 years or something. So, the public doesn't want this, and I don't want it. So, whatever your political views are, that's fine. I got friends, family from all kinds of different viewpoints. Family is mostly liberal, but I got friends on the other side too, and that's fine. We can all get along and hang out and do all that, and that's no problem. Just don't, flaunt it and tell us we're stupid if we have a different viewpoint than you do, regardless of where you are. I don't like it when LeBron does it. I don't like it when Colby does it. I just like it that he calls out LeBron because LeBron's a phony. Now, I was never a big LeBron fan. I'm not a big NBA fan anyway. I was never a big LeBron fan. I didn't like him when he went to Miami because of the way he did it. But then when he left and went back to Cleveland, I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. Here's a guy who's trying to make this thing right and trying to bring a championship to Cleveland, which he was able to do. Even though I was rooting for Golden State that year, it was that's pretty cool. So that's one thing. I knew I could find something. I knew I could find something. And he's a big Tom Brady supporter, which, of course, if you know me at all, I like Tom Brady a lot. He's my favorite player in the NFL. So I think him and LeBron are friends, actually. So that's another thing I like about him. So there's a couple of good things there. See, try to find the positive. Kind of a Zen way of life. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an update, kind of rant a little bit. There's not any deeper meaning to this video. Obviously, this ended up being more about LeBron than Colby Covington or martial arts or Zen or anything. But it's just it is a pretty big story that's been going on in the UFC, and it's been a pretty big thing going on in sports the last 7 or 8 months or 12 months or however long it's been going on. So I thought it was worth making a video about. Thank you everybody for everybody, the two of you who are watching live, and those of you who check us out later. If you like this video, click the like button, add the subscribe there to your channel, and check me out on Facebook. Or no, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I got to get a Facebook page. Actually, no, I don't. Check me out on Twitter at BlackBeltZen. Sorry, I'm half asleep. I woke up several hours before the alarm today and couldn't get back to sleep, and decided to go to the gym, and my brain's a little tired. So at Black Belt Zen on Twitter. Follow me on there. I actually tweeted about this a few times and thought I was getting it ratioed. And thankfully, was able to not. But that's okay if I had. Most of the people on Twitter are just haters anyway. So all right, we'll do another one of these videos coming up in the next few days. At some point, we're going to get into studying Zen and talking about martial arts and workout routines and book reviews and all that good stuff. But we're just getting started here. It's only our second video, so bear with us. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you again soon. Have a great rest of your day.